Hello all newcomers and welcome back fellow Eternians. As always, my name is Empire AP and today we are going to be hanging out and playing some more Making History 2. So I've been playing this for a little bit now on the channel and we are continuing along. Last time we had taken over much of Europe, however we still have a bit to go. We're going to go down into these other authoritarian countries and keep taking over. And hang out, see what you guys are up to tonight. We may switch over to another game later, but for now we are hanging with Making History. Hey, what's going on, Buckeye Republic? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're surviving the coronavirus. Definitely appreciate it. Alright, and I'm just going through and upgrading all my towns and cities and stuff so I can be ready for like this huge attack that I want to do to just knock out all these countries. Italy is my biggest target. Italy is like my go-to, hard-hitting, have to knock them out rival. If I can drop Italy, I can pretty much secure that I'm going to take over the rest of Europe. I just have to prepare ships as well to start taking over Portugal. I'd like to take over Portugal before I take over Italy, so that way I am marching through Spain and end up being on both sides of France when I get prepared to take over France. So right now just trying to upgrade all these towns, make sure we are doing what we need to. Frankfurt is definitely well upgraded. We're going to go ahead and add a university in Frankfurt. That'll be done in about 8 turns. That'll help us with upgrading basically everything that we need to, while we continue to upgrade places like Vienna that are close by our targets. That way we have really quick production out of those areas. Munich as well, doing great, moving for that cottage factory in 5 turns. And it looks like all of our resources up here are doing good. We are still growing. Still maintaining. Let's see about over here, 25, 20. Alright, we need to start upgrading them. We're going to go to Cottage Factory there and Cottage Factory in London as well. We want to try and upgrade these port cities that we have as much as possible so that we can be cranking out as many boats as possible. We also want them strategically placed because not every port city is going to be strategic to upgrade in. For example, this one or this one, they're kind of back here in these channels and these canals, so it's not that we can't take them over because these countries may be great to invade later, but as of right now they don't seem to be of any particular benefit to us to attack or take over. It's the same thing with going... Is that just Moscow right there? Okay. Well, there may be some reason. We might end up traveling up here to invade right next to Moscow, to invade Leningrad and go down straight into Moscow by boat. So that's one of the things we'll be looking at here in a second, because that would knock out a ton of their ability. I'm glad you're doing well, man. Definitely make sure to like the video if you're enjoying the hangout. We are trying to grab more people on the stream, actually. I just posted the stream link a second ago to the Discord, so hopefully everybody is hanging out and can join in with us. But yeah, for right now we are just playing Making History, because we're trying to make history, trying to change the course of it, I should say. Yep. Alright, so we've got a French soldier right there. I kind of want to take over into Africa, but I feel like what my best bet right now is to go in. I don't know. Actually, taking over these countries right here by boat might be the best bet before we attack Portugal. If we can actually go and take over a place like Turkey or a place like you know, Bulgaria. that may be our best bet. And since we have already taken up stock, okay, so, I actually think I might go ahead and restart the game, because Italy has taken over Greece. And while that's not a huge deal, it does make Italy a little bit stronger. I'm trying to figure out if I want to play through like this or not. We still have like 700 turns, so I guess I'll keep going. But, man, Italy has Greece. That's going to make them a lot tougher a competitor. And right now I really just need to keep advancing, so I guess what I'm going to do is go ahead and, well, hold on, I may not need to do that. I may be able to go straight into southern Georgia or whatever that is. And while we do that, we're going to march down this way to attack them and take over. In where are we going? Bulgaria. So we are going to take over Bulgaria as the next part of our plan. And then we will be going into Romania, or what is that? Yugoslavia. And I'm getting pretty close to moving everybody here. May send another couple units down this way just in case. Are we in good relationships or just stable? We're in strong. Okay. So Italy shouldn't take us over so long as we keep hitting all around them. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I am just trying to get us to attack all the way into the heart of this place, and to go that way. Now I'm actually going to cancel that and have this guy go this route and then down into there, then have him go down to there. That way I can add all these guys to moving there, and we can see how things go after that. Okay, we've started a couple battles here. We're destroying them in Danubia. We are destroying them in southern Dobruja. And we are about to be destroying them in Moesia. Let's see what science is doing right now. No project. That's a problem. Okay. So let's see what our science chart says. These are our options that we can pick from right now. I really want to upgrade my navy as best as possible. Okay. So here we are. I might want to do war industries because it gives me the bombers, the fighters, and it ultimately gives me bigger ships. Ooh, as well as air carriers. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, and we are fighting everywhere. We are losing in Malesia, actually. So what we're going to go ahead and do is march our way up. And we are losing in Malesia, but we are winning everywhere else. So what I'm going to do is drop these guys down as well. Send them toward the battle. Okay. We've dodged him. Okay. And they won there. Some are coming to assist in this battle, which we are just now starting to lose, okay? And how's Yugoslavia feeling about us? Stable. Okay. They don't really care that much that we're invading their friends, but alright, whatever. They're neighbors. So we are still sending more troops. Continue the fight. And we're going to start pumping out some land forces from here. And with that, we're actually going to invest in Stuttgart in a vehicle plant. That way we can start producing tanks directly from Stuttgart. Now we're going to go to there and upgrade to a cottage factory. We have a tank built in Berlin, so we're going to go ahead and send that down. And we're going to check the rest of our industrial assets. Our regional assets, our food is getting low, so we need to start doing some open field farms. To stimulate our economy and to make sure that everybody stays happy and productive, we need to make sure that we keep up our food supply. So we're going to, in about 10 or 12 different areas, regions, demand production of those things. Okay, and we caught them right there. How's the battle going so far? We are absolutely annihilating them, so we don't need to touch them there. We need to move on to right here. 16th and 33, crushing them there. We are starting to lose there, but it's a pretty hard-fought battle, and with our reinforcements coming, they know they're not going to be able to keep up. So we're going to keep marching on through. Alright, we're hitting them even more. We won there. They're stopping right here at this oil field. We are going to continue to march. I guess they're taking their stand. That's where they're doing their big final battle. We are going to continue to march down here. I'm actually going to put him back at his station. That way I can protect myself from Russia. Because Russia doesn't really like us. So now I am marching down all the way through to Danubia. Ooh, I actually should probably back them up there. So instead of taking that, I'm actually going to send them straight down into that battle. And I'll leave these 2 horsemen to take that. Actually, I'll turn one of them around and have him go back and continue the fight up here, just to make sure that we overwhelm them there as well. So we're fighting them here, we're winning, looks like it. Fighting them there, winning. Fighting them there, losing, but just barely. And we won there. Okay. Right there we're winning, so when those reinforcements come, we should still be winning. We are going to... We're still losing there, so we're going to go ahead and support our troops in, what's that, Danubia? Support our troops in Danubia. They have 6 turns till their next infantry comes, so if we can knock out, let's see, and they have 15 turns till the horse artillery comes. So if I can knock out their capital before the next 6 turns, I will have taken over Bulgaria. Let's see. If any of those battles fall, I'm winning. So it's just a matter of time. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to support this battle right there. Losing right there. Winning right there. Coming with my reinforcements still. Gonna risk it, gonna have this unit move. Okay, so I'm going to check back in with the comments real quick. Ooh, we got some people jumping in here. Thank you guys for the 3 likes. What's going on, Empire of Ant? How are you doing? Federal Republic of Bogdan, what's going on, man? Federal Republic of Bogdan said, sup, are you going to invade Kievan Rus? I don't know what that is. My apologies. If you can inform me, I could tell you. But for right now, I'm jumping into this Bulgaria, having me a helping full bowl of Bulgaria. Okay, and we are marching down, sending more troops. We've been chilling there. We have a ton of money, so we're gonna go ahead and start turning out some land forces. For our industry, well, for our city infrastructure, what are we going to? Ooh, okay, so we need war industries in Frankfurt. We want to produce some tanks, so we're going to go ahead and do that. As for our region, we're producing a farm there, okay. We have railroads, but we don't have... Okay, well, I'm going to add an oil refinery here, so we make sure we stay on top of our oil supplies. It looks like most of our area has plenty of coal, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Well, actually, no, we'll cut coal out. I specifically want to do metals right now, so we're going to go to some place like here, where they're already building. Going to find a different place that might have some metals in it. Anywhere? Metals? metal? Anywhere got some metals? Okay. Interesting. We are producing a ton of arms. Also, we have quite a bit of arms, so we might be good on arms here in a second. Let's see how these battles are going. So we're losing there, but not by much. We are losing there, but not by much. Winning there, but not by much. And we have some strategy still going on at the moment. Okay, let's see what's going on now. Winning still, but not by much. Coming back, but not by much. Winning, but not by much. Okay, cool. So we're going to have this guy rush into there. We're going to have this guy take over Streamer Valley. And we're going to have this guy actually head back up near Russia because I don't trust him. And we're going for it. Soviet Russia right now is probably not my friend. Because as soon as I keep encroaching on their territory, they're eventually just going to attack me. It's a huge border to defend, and I do not like it. So instead of that, what I'm going to try and do is actually sail around Russia as much as humanly possible when preparing for all this. Yeah, I took over their capital. Awesome. Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria, I guess. Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to industry. It's interesting they have a munitions plant, but without having a cottage factory. Wow. But yet they had a munitions plant. Okay, well their big area seems to be Plovdiv, and I don't understand how that's not their capital, but okay. Winning there, winning there, winning there, and just like that, Bulgaria falls. I'm actually going to extend his reach over to there while I threat to just run on Turkey. I am stacking up right there. Produced some tanks here in Berlin. Gonna send those down this way. And building more. Awesome. So I'm going to add a cottage factory. I'm gonna go over here and add a cottage factory. And eventually I'm going to start building some troop ships and stocking them up. Okay. While I wait for that, I'm going to produce as well in Hanover and in, where is that? Kiev. All these places where I can just start pumping into these ports right here that will be sending out ships all the time, hopefully. So that's what I'm keeping up, is production right in this little region. We want right here in Essen, we want to stock them as much as possible, because any chance they get, they're all neighbors of these regions right here, which they can move our units into to sail off and fight battles for us. So right now we are winning in Wallachia, we are winning in Danusia, and we are winning in southern Dobruja. And we are finishing off their last unoccupied territory in eastern Rumelia. So, Bulgaria has fallen. We're declaring it. United Kingdom lifted its trade embargo on the USSR. Not great for us, I'll tell you that. Vehicle plant produced in Stuttgart. Okay. So the USSR is starting to stack its military, which has me a little bit worried, just because of the amount of cities that they have. We are gaining more and more, so we should be able to start competing with them. But even still, a lot of their cities are quite large and quite productive. So that being the case, we want to go ahead and take them over as quick as possible. The majority of their country is on that side. So once we get to around here, there's very, very little that they can do to actually defend or fight back. And in the meantime, we will end up being able to attack Manchuria and Japan if they will leave us alone. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, so Turkey is on our border, kind of up our ass. So we're going to take Turkey out next. More than likely, we might take Yugoslavia before that, but it all depends. Right now we're building up our ships. So once we build up our ships, what we're going to want to do is to take Portugal as quickly as possible. Because if we take Portugal, then we have open access to the Strait of Gibraltar, which gives us access into the Mediterranean to send troops, as well as into Africa. Once we have access to the Mediterranean, we have access to the Ivory Coast. We have access to all of these things. And we can ultimately creep our way over to Asia by sea so that we don't have to march through every single landlocked country, which would get us into an inevitable fight with Russia, allowing Japan and Manchuria to stack their resources against us. And we are going to use this time to produce a chemical lab. Well, I don't know, is that what we want? Or do we want a research facility? Let's go ahead and do the chemical lab, just in case, but we'll see how things go. Stuttgart, and did Stuttgart end up building a university like we wanted them to? They're about to, if they haven't. Let's check out what they're doing here. Research, in Bucharest, War Industries, and in Sofia, War Industries. Perfect. Yep, we are slowly moving. Rome, Italy, is trying to get War Industries, but they are taking 58 turns to do so. Moscow is learning about Alpine warfare, which is bad for us, because that's exactly where we are. And it seems like they're wanting to fight us, so that is going to be a little bit difficult. That may be something we want to start researching. We're going to look at our tech tree here, see what we can work with. Okay, so we already have Alpine warfare training. That's what they're studying up on, okay? Amphibious assaults we can get, chemical fertilizers, mine mechanization, farm mechanization. We need farm mechanization. That would help us a lot. Mine mechanization would help us a lot. Deep operations, maneuver warfare, auto fretage technique. That's all good. Right now we got War Industries, which will unlock Tank Prototype 3, all these other things. Eventually we will want to get to applied physics, which allows us the nuclear lab. Once we get that, we can start doing the Fischer-Tropsch process, nuclear chain reaction, sonar, etc. So that leads us well on our way to building better aircraft, better submarines, destroyers, things like that, fast battleships. See, that's what I want. So there's a fleet carrier, which seems cool. Fire control systems to allow for fast battleships. That's what I really like. Guerrilla tactics. That seems cool. Engineers 4 and mountain infantry. Seems cool. Centimetric radar allows for radar interception. Advanced production. Prefabricated harbors allow for marine support. Advanced munition allows for a defense line and for an industrial shipyard, which is cool. I guess that's a sea thing as well, the defense line. Air-to-air rockets allows for advanced fighters. Advanced motors allows for highways. Engineering sciences allows for oil exploration and coastal fortifications. Eventually I want to get to national laboratories where we can do technology centers, jet propulsion labs, things like that, which will ultimately allow us guided bombs and rockets. Advanced physics will allow us rail deustilization, a whole bunch of other stuff. Air-to-air missiles allow us basic jet fighters. Acoustic torpedoes allow us attack submarines. Nuclear fission allows us atomic bombs. That's where we want to get to eventually. So, and then astrophysics will allow us ultimately jet bombers, advanced jet fighters, and ICBMs once we get into the space age. So what we are moving toward right now is trying to upgrade all of our places as fast as possible so that we are ready for the wars that are going to come about in a little bit, and the difficulty that we are going to have in growing. So we're wanting to put into medical centers, vehicle plants, research facilities, places like that. We are working on a university there, despite the fact that we just put an auto center there so that we could produce tanks, correct? Yep, we produce tanks in 4 turns there. But right now we're trying to go for a university at 10 turns. Let's go ahead and not worry about that right now. Let's work on another cottage factory so that hopefully we can knock down those early tanks to 2 or 3 turns while we work on the chemical lab there in Berlin. And we're just going to go ahead and finally stomp them out. Next turn it looks like we might have them. Go ahead and cancel the order there, send them that way, send these guys here, that way. Actually going to stop them from coming down, going to have them sit right there. Going to still have these guys come down in the tank, but for now we're sitting on a lot of stuff. Cottage factory's almost done in Berlin, and Hamburg, and Kiel, and Hanover, as well as in Essen. We are building cottage factories in a lot of places. Frankfurt is doing really well. We still have some manpower, some ability to purchase stuff for Frankfurt, but we are running out of metals. We are going to need some more metals, so that open field farm, when it gets done, is going to make way for a metals mine here in just a second. And there we go. Brandenburg completed oil field farm. Everywhere completed oil field farm. Open field farm, excuse me. We were going to annex Bulgaria. We didn't receive any money because they spent it all fighting a war against us. See, there are Italian soldiers in Greece, and that kind of messes me up. Greece would be a great place to do some port stuff, but you know, Tirano, Italy, and Rome, Italy seem to control a lot of the Mediterranean right now, which is not great. We really need to be on our stuff, so I want to take over Yugoslavia. That way we get Belgrade and Split, and we can start upgrading those to send ships and attack Italy. Once we can successfully just take bites out of Italy, we will be well on our way to taking over the rest of Europe. Right now developing arms there. I think we're good on arms, so I'm going to actually change from arms here back to industry and going probably into the cottage factory. So we're going to keep upgrading Königsberg. Ooh, we've got more metals, which is great. What other places produce at the moment? We do need to go into this place that has metals and do metals exploration for 20 turns, or metals pit for 10 metals mine. Well, we really need it soon, but then we'll additionally do metals exploration after that to see what we can get. as of right now, we are waiting on our war industries to be completed. We're looking at our industrial centers, which are doing really well. Who's producing munitions for us? Is anybody? Nobody's producing munitions right now. Frankfurt. Is it Frankfurt or Graz? Frankfurt. I want to build... I'll do a research facility. I'll go ahead and do a research facility there. It's going to take 15 turns, but if it pays off, I'll be zooming through all of these. I will be zooming through all of these different parts of Yugoslavia. Sorry about that. I am trying to get all my units in a row and everything here. Let's check out what everybody's saying. What's going on, Buckeye Republic? Glad to see you are back. Hope you guys are doing well. I am trying to figure out this stuff with the game and trying to slowly take over the world. What's going on, guys? If you're just joining us, thank you so much for watching. We are playing Making History and trying to take over basically all of Europe right now, and then eventually into the rest of the world. This is getting really interesting, and as we go forward, I hope you guys get to see the scale that we're working with. This really starts to be crazy. If you've ever played the Katamari games, it's very similar. You start off with a really small ball, essentially, and you start rolling up things, and then it becomes this larger and larger group. That's what this is, but with taking over the world. You know, once you get past a certain point, your growth is immense. You're starting to take over anywhere, and nowhere can stop you. So it really becomes an interesting game at that point. So right now we're going to see it still takes 4 turns to make a tank. We don't produce naval or air forces. We are just on tanks right now. We are going to go and continue. We might 8 turns for a mechanized factory. I'll go ahead and invest in the mechanized factory for right now. We're creating a medical center in Munich that should be able to help with some of the stuff we're looking at right now. Just dealing with what we've got. Thus far. We're almost done with our chemical lab, so next turn we'll be able to start producing more units in from Berlin, and then once we do that, we're just going to absolutely line this whole section, and then we're going to start building into taking over Yugoslavia. Once we take over Yugoslavia and Albania, there's not going to be really any stopping us from there, because we will be well on our way to, our cottage factory is almost done there in Bremen, which will mean that we want to start producing. Let's go to Bremen. Let's look at what they're producing. They have a cottage factory. Soon we are going to be able to create troop ships in 5 turns. We're going to want to do that because we have the High Seas group, which is actually in Hamburg, which we can use to attack our enemies around the globe. So we want to go ahead and stock up on troop ships in these places and start sending all of our troops down here to Portugal, where we can actually take over and start implementing the buildup of an army. One, so that we can just continue to upgrade Libsyn, so that can be a main port for attack all over the world. We're going to use that base to start attacking the coast of Africa here and really wiggling our access into the Mediterranean, which will help with our attack of Rome, and eventually France, as well as Britain. You know, once we take over Italy, we're probably going to stock up and prepare for a war with potentially Russia, depending on how things go, depending on which way we're moving. We're probably going to move eastward before we move westward, so we're going to take over Portugal, Spain, probably go into Africa, knock down Italy quite a bit, pave our way into France more than likely. If we end up getting too ahead of ourselves, we'll pave into France, attack Britain, and make our way all the way through to Japan, because that's what we want to work on. Once Italy is our main target and we've taken them out, next will be Japan. We'll be starting to fuel up for fighting Japan, because they'll have to be hit really, really hard. They're a big country, and in this period of time they're dominating with their navy. So we're building up our navy to compete with theirs and to supersede theirs by a lot. Once we do that, we'll be ready to take over the US, Britain, France, all of them at the same time if we want to. So that's the idea. Right now we are just trying to continue to stockpile all of our resources. And cottage factory produced in Berlin. That's great news. Cottage factory produced in Essen. Great news. In Nuremberg and Vienna. Great news all around. We're going to go to Vienna to see how that's going. Vienna's at 40. Vienna is starting to become a really big group, so we're going to go ahead and produce vehicles there. Or should we do a medical center? Well, it looks like we have plenty of MPUs right now. So I'd go ahead and say, let's invest in, and we're still not doing great with our food supply. We're now at 13 every turn, but that's really not increasing. We're breaking even every time, just about. So what we're going to go ahead and do is start work on another cottage factory until we can get our vehicle plant produced. Once we get our vehicle plant produced, we will be pumping out these tanks to just roll over everything. We're working on mechanized tractor there, doing everything we can in most of these spots. In Mainz we're doing well, but we're not really producing very much there. Research facility in Frankfurt, in Essen we are doing well. We are going to again produce, we're still good on metals. Going to again produce another cottage factory. We're going to go into Bremen, produce those troop ships. In Hamburg, we're still producing our cottage factory. Kiel, we're still producing our cottage factory. In Hanover, we are. In Königsberg, we are. In Breslau, we're hanging out. In Salzburg, we're hanging out. In Graz, we're hanging out. Vienna, we're upgrading again. Pex, we're not really upgrading. Budapest, we're not really upgrading. Cluj. Bucharest, we should be. I don't know why we're not. That's going to be a great big foothold in Eastern Europe. If we need to stack armies and things here, that's going to be the way to go. That and Costanza. So yeah, right now we are stacking up along Yugoslavia's border, because we are about to Shrek them. And that means we are going to go ahead with production of research cottage factory early tanks. We'll go early tanks. And then, are we doing anything in Brandenburg? We are not. We need to do a metals mine because our metals are doing alright. To be honest with you, we need more food. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's add a plantation there. Let's get that started. Because it produces 25 per turn, so if that helps us, we need to get that going. We're also going to try and add a plantation in Thuringia and in Hesse. Now that means actually we can save Brandenburg and have its thing go into transportation, roadways. We're doing a metals mine there in Upper Bavaria. We're not doing anything. We could do transportation as well because we have Württemberg right there. We could do there and there. Trying to essentially figure out the best places to do roads so that we can move our troops around. Right now our oil is fine, but eventually once we start using ships, we're going to really need oil, so I'm trying to be careful. Let's see where our science stuff is at. Ooh, we have 12 more turns until war industries are done, so we are moving quickly forward. Cottage factory produced in Hanover, that's great. Let's figure out where that was. Hanover, right there, we got our cottage factory done. So we're going to go ahead and get back into it with another one. I'm going to keep throwing on these cottage factories because the more that we do that, the quicker we can produce our naval forces. So we're going to be doing that as well. We're going to stack both troop ships. We're going to stack 2 troop ships in the high seas group. That way we can store the maximum amount of troops, so that way we can just unload a ton of troops all at once and they won't see it coming once we hit Portugal. Once we drop our people off in Portugal, that's where it's going to be a big mess, and we're going to have to try and survive the best we can. So the good news about this is that this is all one territory. There are 2 big cities of both groups. So all we have to do in Libsyn and in Oporto, so all we have to do is show up in the Lusitanian Basin, and we will go into Portugal, through Libsyn and through Oporto once we knock out their navy, and then we will be right on Spain's butt, and right on Africa's butt as well. And we're moving forward. We are about to produce more tanks in Berlin. We are about to produce some in Munich as well, if we decide to produce a vehicle plant, which I think we will. Mechanized factory will be done in 4 turns. In Frankfurt we're moving forward. In Nuremberg we need to upgrade more, so we're going to go ahead for a cottage factory there. In Vienna we're doing great. In Pex we're doing alright. Debrecen we're doing alright. Budapest doing alright. Cluj doing alright. Bucharest, hold on, what was that? Debrecen, Cluj, Timisoara. Bucharest is doing good, and Costanza is doing good. So just kind of waiting, see what everybody's going to do. They're trying to produce cottage factories all over the place. Really trying to upgrade their workforce. Same thing in Rome, they're trying to get these war industries done. They're producing tanks in Trieste, which should be a way. Producing a vehicle plant in Venice should be a way. Don't know what they're doing in Milan, don't know what they're doing in Turin. But this is a little bit nerve-wracking because Italy could be getting into some big fights here soon. So what we want to do is to make sure that when we get ready to fight Italy, we can hit them from all sides, all at once with a ton of troops, because they're going to be pretty advanced, and they're going to be prepared for a fight. So we have to make sure our fight is 10 or 15 times bigger than theirs, and just absolutely. Königsberg is doing well. We are going to go ahead and add a cottage factory to their, because I just want to keep stacking them up, once I get some more troop ships, I might start sending them up into, well, hold on. There's no reason right now why I can't go into my land forces, just create some horse artillery, and just stack them right there. Medical center produced in Munich, awesome, and Munich's now working on our okay. Moving forward. And we have our tank produced in Berlin, excuse me. So we are going to send that down this way. Gonna actually have it stop probably right there at the end. right down into there, into, what is that, Carthinia, into Salzburg. So we're going to have that tank run down and just hit Lithuania from all sides if we can. Republic of... hey, what's going on, guys? I am looking back here at the comments. Thank you all so much for checking us out. National Republic of Noun said, invade Poland. Well, we might end up doing that soon out of necessity, just because we're trying to grow really quickly. But as of right now, we are not going to invade Poland. We are working on taking over as many authoritarian communist countries before we go for the democratic ones, because once you start attacking democratic nations, they tend to gang up. So we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible and get into essentially dividing and conquering. Good question, though. Or good suggestion, I should say. Hey guys, I think I am probably going to cut it here for tonight. I might try to build up enough to go into, let me see, Bremen. Ooh, they produced their, did both of them produce? No, okay, we got one more retreat ships in wherever that is, but we're going to have the High Seas group stay there so that once we finish production there. So in that case, what's probably easiest for us to do is to go ahead and move them into Heligoland Bight and then go back out into Hamburg. That way they're considered a part of the High Seas group. And we will have 20 carrying capacity that we can put units into whenever we create them here. So we're going to go into our land forces, going to create some tanks. Now tanks cost a lot of metal, which is a difficult thing and something that we constantly have to be working on, because these metals will drain you of resources really, really quickly, trying to look for these metals and trying to get them. So it is one of the harder things to do in this game, to keep up with all the different things you need to. Right now we're doing metals exploration, so trying to look out for new metals. We're also probably going to produce a metal mine here, just because we need it. I don't know if there's any metal or anything here or there. Coal exploration, metals, yep, they're doing a plantation. Okay. So we're continuing up, making our moves, and slowly trying to get everything done. We only have 5 more turns on War Industries, so that's doing great. In Bremen, we need to be producing, so we're going to be doing a cottage factory there more than likely. Is that where Bremen is? Yep, cool. So Bremen's going to produce another cottage factory while we get Hanover and Yale to start producing some land forces for them. We're going to make a munitions factory, munitions plant here in a second so that we can start producing the units that we want to. Okay, and we're going into Hamburg as well. We're going to produce another cottage factory. Just keep upgrading those as much as we can so that we are able to produce ships with lightning speed. While in Essen, we are going to go all the way over here and start producing some tanks. That would actually be wonderful if we could do that. I'll actually save these. Horse artillery and tanks cost the same amount of metal. I guess I'll do the tank. And tanks cost less manpower to produce, but they cost more oil. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So sweet. I'm producing tanks there, producing tanks there, producing research facility there, goods there, goods there. Let's see. Okay, so I can start producing tanks here because it's dropped down to 4. Got our vehicle plant, cottage factory, cottage factory, cottage factory. Goods in Vienna. We can start turning around horse artillery. Vienna, start producing that. We are producing a ton of armies, so we need to be very careful with what we're doing and how quickly we are growing, because eventually that will catch up with us if we're not careful. But we're going to use these resources we are creating, and we're going to tile into let's see. We are looking for metals in these places. Ooh, they have a metals mine right there in Yugoslavia. Multiple metals mines. Multiple metals mines. That is a great reason for us to move in. And we're going to add a metals mine over here because that's our territory now. Yep. Okay, so yeah, we're going to want to take over Yugoslavia for their metals. I mean, for other reasons as well, just because we want to take them over, but part of it is definitely going to be for the metals. So yeah, 64, 115, the 10th Army in Yugoslavia, they're going to be some tough guys to fight, so we're probably going to want to come in from right there and hit them with both sides of things. 81, 84, 16, 16, 16, 16. And then here 32, 49, we're probably going to hit them 16, 16, 16. Yeah, so we'll probably be good there. Gonna need to keep backing places up though. 32, 49 versus 16, 16, not gonna cut it. I'm gonna have this guy move over here to supplement him, this guy move down here to supplement them, and then we are going to be talking about fighting, really sending troops on the ships. That's where we're at this point. We are just trying to see what we can do to get as many units as we can onto ships. So we're producing these 2 munitions plants and trying to see how our military can grow. We are spending our metals really quickly, which again is part of the reason why we are hoping to attack Yugoslavia so quickly, is because if we can take over Yugoslavia, that means that we can recoup some of those losses to our metal deposits. Keep stacking metals, we can keep producing tanks and ships and all the things that we need. Our oil is doing alright right now. Eventually, if we need oil or metals, we will probably be running into Russia. So that will be something to behold coming up very, very soon. And we'll see. Okay, still trying to produce tanks, still trying to produce everything else. And research centers, 3 more turns on war industries. Whereas Italy is how many away from war industries? 42 turns. Perfect. That is beautiful. Okay, what about places like France? What are they doing? War industries 87. War industries 14 in London. So London is really catching up to us. What about the US? What are they looking at? Applied physics. The US is already on applied physics. Hold all the way on. What is our ranking? Okay, food, we have a supply shortage of 355 units of food right now. Everything else is relatively stable. What I'm trying to figure out, where are we doing so poorly in, okay, let's see. How are we doing so poorly scientifically? I don't understand how the US is already on applied physics. Already? 1934. 1935 now, okay. Already on applied physics? Dang, okay. How many away in applied physics? I'm pretty sure it's like a few away, which is why I'm so surprised. It means they have a ton of scientific stuff going on. Let's see, War Industries. Applied Physics is just the next one. Okay, so they're just one ahead of us. But even still, that means that they are closer to producing atomic bombs and all these different things. So we need to catch up, and quick. It means they've already produced all of the things they need for their war industries. USSR annexed Norway. Okay. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. They just annexed Norway. Okay. Russia just annexed Norway. Cool. So it seems as though we might be fighting Russia here in a second, which means we're definitely going to need to take over Yugoslavia, because if not, we are going to be seriously fighting an uphill battle in regards to just taking over and taking back. So yeah, we're rushing them. At this point, there's nothing else we can do. We have to just rush these guys. Declare war, move into Carnolia. We're going in, attacking everywhere with everything we've got. Full force, no stopping us. We're going in everywhere. And hoping that we have enough ability to hold them back. Because that 115 army is what's really my concern right now, to tell you the truth. But I'm hoping that if we hit them hard enough, we can knock them out really, really quick, and then push through to supplement the other armies where we need them. And right now we got 15 there, we got 4 there, 5 there, 15 there. Great. Okay, so we're starting to move up in the world with cottage factories in Costanza as well as in Bucharest, which is great for us to start producing units down here. Okay, and we're in wars everywhere, in battle everywhere, really. Completed work on war industries, perfect. So we are fighting all over Yugoslavia. We are winning all over Yugoslavia, except up there. Okay, so they're trying to march their troops around. They have a couple decent-sized armies right there. They have a bigger army than we thought right there, but they're supporting their troops there. We're winning right there. We're really winning against their biggest army, which is what I think they were a little bit afraid of. Yeah, we are doing this. We are taking them over. As well, Königsberg, we are trying to continue upgrading 65, 82, 32, 49, 32, 49. So they beat us right now, but if we keep upgrading, we can eventually get to the point where we can just run on. And that's what we're hoping for. So, trying to take everybody out, a little bit at a time. Producing arms right there, producing infantry right there, which is not good. So we're going to go ahead and send these guys to Schleswig-Holstein, whatever that's called. We're going to go down to Hanover and start producing some artillery. And we're going to do the same thing in Kiev. We're going to start producing some artillery. Because hopefully what that'll allow us to do is to move a whole bunch of things onto our ship, dock it, and just absolutely run on everybody everybody in Portugal. So we are still fighting, trying to take over everywhere. And next, let's go ahead and figure out what we're doing with our project now. I think we want to do improved hull design. Or applied physics. Chemical fertilizers would probably help us out a little bit. Okay. Improved hull design, 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 improved hull design. Have it done in 12 terms, or we could do applied physics everywhere. And applied physics, 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 and get it down to 20 terms, so we can start competing with the best. London still has 12 turns before they figure out war industries, which is great for us. The US has 21 turns till they figure out applied physics, so we may lap the US on science as well, in specifically what they're researching. So, making a move on with that. They have just produced a whole lot of troops that they are going to be backing themselves with, so we have to be prepared on all of our battlefronts to take on that threat. We are heavily pushing some of them, so we may be able to break through their lines, and if so, we will have the upper hand before they're able to spread out to their different battles in time. Right there, we're winning pretty heavily. Right here, we're not, which is where we're going to actually face some difficulty, where they're probably going to want to push, but they're not really. They're trying to go to back up these guys where they're getting annihilated, and they're getting annihilated right here. So I just don't think they have time to do everything, and we're about to see that come to fruition. Producing tanks everywhere, going to 35th Army here to load onto the High Seas Group. Actually, I want to see something here. So there's the First Fleet and there's the High Seas Group. I guess it doesn't matter which one I load them onto. Can I combine the First Fleet with the High Seas Group? Maybe not? Okay. I'll load them onto the High Seas Group, I guess. And we are producing horse artillery, which will eventually become a part of that. But right now they are going on to the High Seas Group. And we are destroying the game. Okay, they took back, where is it? They took back Slovenia from us, but we are wrecking them in Carnolia. We are losing in Moldavia. Wait, is that where Slovenia, Moldavia we're losing? Carnolia we're winning, and we just won in Morava. So we're going to send our 2 tanks up here to, okay, they're running on us there. 2 of these guys, 16, 16. So so we're going to run on these guys in Aeternia. We're going to have these guys in the 12th Army fight. Actually, we'll just have them hold off and just take a defensive position here when fighting, and then we will go ahead and continue to try and consolidate as best we can during these times. Gonna load these guys onto the high seas group as well. Gonna move this guy just down to southern part of Europe while we continue to monitor this situation. We're winning basically everywhere. We're ultimately going to end up winning the war. It's just a matter of time now. Okay, and that looks like we are starting to finalize the spread of their units, ultimately taking down what's left, the little factions that are now running into our territory. Actually, they've crossed our lines and are just starting to march on our territory. However, we have been able to hold them back. We're about to defeat them here in Morava. We have just defeated them in Vardar-Benovina. So now we're going to go up here and support our troops in Morava, which we should be winning here in a second, and actually going to extend up into Vardar-Benovina. Or whatever you call it. Okay, so we're throwing them all in there. Hopefully we're going to make a big splash. Take it over there, and then we should have these metal mines and stuff that we've been looking for. A little bit worried about Italy right now. Seems like they're trying to stack up their stuff. Let's see what their diplomatic relationships with us are. Still says strong. Okay, still doing alright. Wondering if the US and the other countries are going to run on Moscow or not. I need more metals, so I'm going to offer to buy some metals. I'm going to see if they want to sell me some metals. Dang it. They don't want to sell me any metals? Oh well. Okay. So we have our horse artillery that we put in up there, and we're going to put them onto our high seas group as well. That is stacking up our high seas group to getting close to our 10 mark. Let's see. Having 4, which is pretty solid. Going to continue to finish these guys. And trying to figure out what we're doing about... There we go. So these plantations will be done really soon, which is going to be great. We're trying to figure out what we're doing about food and how to shorten that food shortage. We also have a plantation going in the next. So we are marching on their armies. Ooh, we caught them both, so they didn't expand. That's great. So they only took over 2 little territories, but they're about expanded into 2 little territories, I should say. But now they're getting their butts kicked in both and will be quickly departing. I'm going to send 1 unit down here, 1 unit across to here, just to do the final sweep through of everything, and then we're going to have them march down and unify in Albania, where they'll be in charge of doing that takeover. Okay, so what else? We are just about done moving through Yugoslavia and taking over. Once we've knocked through Yugoslavia, we have pretty much, let's see, yep, we've taken over a good part of Europe, and then we will just take over Portugal real quick. Once we have Portugal, pull up through Spain, Once we go through Spain, we should be able to pretty easily attack Italy, and that's where we'll go from there, or Russia, depending on what need arises here in a few minutes. Okay, and I'm going to check back with you guys in the comments. What's going on? Okay. Alright, and we're back in. So, still got 18 turns to produce some other stuff. But, we are slowly taking over. And yeah, their armies are basically all depleted. They have an air force that they're just kind of letting stand down for right now. Take 10 more turns to get them to produce infantry, 6 more turns there, 10 more turns there. Yeah, there's no way they're going to be able to hold that down. So, what I'm going to do is use these units to just sweep through right here. We're going to actually have them sweep through down to there, and then through to Montenegro. And, we are losing in Aeternia. So what we might need to do is actually go and support them up there, because it looks like we are it's interesting, a lot of it is the planes that we're having to fight. That seems like it's becoming the nuisance. What we'll go ahead and do is take over Albania just to settle that right now, because I don't want to deal with Albania anymore. And we are going to eventually be taking over the rest of the spots and finalizing our battle in Vojvodina. Alright, so now I am running on Vojvodina with, oh my gosh, that's a hard word to say. Running on him with 2 tanks and some artillery. We backed him up with some artillery a second ago. It helped a little bit, but not too much. So we're still doing what we can. They were really big on their Air Force. I'm surprised. Not a lot of nations are. Right now we're losing to Albania because we just haven't really, provided the troops necessary to win. But we will be doing that shortly. Right now we are going to be moving more troops into the High Seas group here. And trying to get that, can produce more in Essen if we would like, and I think we would, so we're going to go ahead and make some more tanks. Actually, might go ahead and upgrade our industry again and do a mechanized factory. That way we can start producing a lot really quickly. And then for Bremen, we're going to start producing some artillery. Well, is that what I want to do? Do I want to build this dreadnought? No, I'll go ahead and I'll build some munitions plants. Boop, just like that. Alright, cool. And so Russia's taken over, what is it? Russia has taken over Poland, or not Poland, Sweden or Norway, or I think it was Norway. This is Sweden. Yeah, so they took over Norway. That's concerning, to say the least. and I'm trying to make sure that they can stay away from me at the moment. Okay, so they're studying infantry weapons 3. I think we are going to have to take over Russia sooner than we would like. So that's the big ouch right now, the big difficulty. And I'm going to go ahead and go, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace, guys.